Once in a beautiful valley, there lived a very poor family called the Bandnets. The whole valley was reigned by poverty, and every inhabitant there was leading a miserable and depressed life. Especially the Bandnet family was the worst victim of their ill fate. One day, the father Noah Bandnet returned from the forest, carrying a heavy burden of logs on his shoulders, that he had been cutting and gathering the whole day in order to sell in the market and earn his living. His 10-year-old son came to him. The boy could notice the clear signs of hunger and suffering on the face of his old father. His little heart moved for his helpless father, and he could not stop the innocent but logical questions that disturbed his little brain. The little boy Robert spoke. "Dad, have you brought some bread for today?" Noah, who was already thinking how he would manage to buy bread for his family today, smiled and looked in the young boy's eyes and spoke softly, "Robert, you know, apparently we eat bread, but actually it is the bread that eats us." Robert looked at his father, confused. "But how is this possible, Dad?" Noah replied in a deep voice, carrying the fatigue of centuries in his speech, "My boy, the worries to earn a handsome amount as to manage food on the table for your family, whether you are physically or mentally capable or not, can make your soul and spirit hollow from inside. When you see the shadows of death and starvation or death on the faces of those whom you love the most, you become half dead in these adverse circumstances. The burden of your responsibilities to earn bread bends your back, and this is not you who eat bread, but actually it is the bread that eats you from your inside." Robert kept looking at the old creased face of his poor father and spoke, "What about the rich people then, Dad? They do not have to worry about bread like us." Noah smiled sarcastically, looking at the soil in his feet that was making his wooden cottage look even uglier. He said with a heavy heart, "My boy, in this matter we are fortunate than the rich because we take stress to get bread and basic needs only, but their unlimited wants are eating them even more. Needs are limited, but wants and desires are eating some people the way a termite makes wood hollow from inside by consuming it continuously and silently." Robert asked innocently, "So what is the solution for all this misery? How can we cope up with this situation?" Noah put his hand on Robert's small and lean shoulders and said, "What we can do, my dear, is not to let this misery pass on to others, being kind to those who need our help, feeding the hungry and helping those who are suffering. We can move on by never losing hope and continuously working hard to make lives easier." Robert found the answer of his questions, and they both went to the market to sell the logs so that they could buy and eat bread.